Did you not hear about this lady who got in trouble?
For what?
She's like a big YouTuber, and she actually got in a lot of trouble with fans and stuff because basically she was trying to take a thumbnail picture.
Yeah.
And it was like a serious thing. Like their dog apparently got parvo's, new baby puppy that they bought.
Uh-huh.
And it got parvo. And they were taken to the doctor, and the little boy, and they said, like, had bad news, like, the dog was sick or whatever. So the little boy was crying, and she was like, okay, honey, but while you're crying, like, can you just put your hand up like this so we can take a thumbnail? He was like, Mom, like, this is, like, I'm really sad. And she's like, well, can you be sad, like, and put your hand like that? And she was, like, moving it around, and she was like, can you do, like, put your head on my shoulder? And she was like, and then she had her hand up like this, and she was crying. So she forgot to edit it, and she posted that whole video. And everybody was like, I can't believe you're exploiting. I bet
she doesn't even edit her own videos.
Maybe not, but
the editor did that on purpose.
But people were like,
she's a bad person or something.
Right, I don't know. But exploiting her child. She's like a single mom.
Yeah. And
that's what her whole platform is, a single mom. Working and raising her kid and health and beauty and fitness and stuff like that. But I was like, no, I don't. But people remember. But I was like,
comment down below if you remember who this is.
Mm-hmm.
Notice Meredith's drinking soup before we start this podcast.
That's bone broth. It has 9 grams of protein.
Bone broth.
So, chicken, lemon, and rosemary.
That's how you have strong bones. Bone broth.
I was actually talking to Victoria about that. She says she keeps these in her office for when she gets hungry, and with like a piece of bread or something. It's like just to hold her over in case she needs to eat before she does something or like does her training. But I said you had that bone powder, collagen powder or whatever, that's made out of chicken bone.
The beef collagen.
Yeah, beef collagen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways.
But you haven't made for me in a couple weeks.
I would just do what you were doing and add it to your coffee or whatever.
Yeah, it worked that first day when I did the whole batch at one time. It worked like really well.
But you probably shouldn't do that.
But then when I went back to the 2 cubes a day or 3 cubes a day, that didn't work very good. But that big dose of it.
Well, you have to work on that.
Great.
You have to work on that.
Wow.
And see, I mean, there's really no clear directions on what to do with it, so.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, but that girl, like, she apologized and, like, said how embarrassed she was. But she was like, I mean, literally, she was exploiting her child.
Yeah.
Because her kid was like, Mom, but I am really crying. She's like, okay, well, can you really cry like this instead? And stuff like that. Like, that's wild. Like, kids are not even going to know how to, like, process their emotions because it's going to be all on the internet. You know what I mean? It's all going to be a staged thing.
Right. Well, reality TV's been staged since, what, 2000?
No, but now everybody's in reality TV. If they're YouTubers or vloggers, like, everybody can do that now. It's not like they're acting like it's their real life. But, it's, you know what I'm saying? But some of it is staged. So everybody has a chance to be a reality star now.
Right.
Which is frightening, really. Anyways.
So what's up, babe?
What's up?
What you want to talk about?
So, what you want to talk about?
Season 2. We're here. We made it.
Mm-hmm. We made it. Woo.
Time to start talk about exciting stuff.
Woo. What we were talking about before was exciting.
But it wasn't Megan Fox's ass exciting.
Oh my god. That booty. That booty though. I don't know. I thought she looked great. I'm not even gonna front. I might have hated her. Like.
Okay.
She's at the VMA. Was it VMAs? MTV Movie Awards or something?
MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah, she looked hot.
Video Movie Awards, sorry. Video Awards.
MTV Music Awards. Video Awards.
VMAs. It just says VMAs.
Yeah, VMAs. Video Music Awards. Yeah. Her man, what's his name?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she good looking fly. They say that she sucks the soul out of him, though. Like she's slowly sucking his soul out. And that she's clairvoyant as well. She can hear. Like she's actually like really in, like a witch basically. I hate to put that claim out there. I would like she's spiritually gifted.
Mm-hmm.
Like she could hear your thoughts and stuff and like feeds off of your energy and whatnot.
No, so that brought up the first question: is Machine Gun Kelly using her for his clout, or is she using Machine Gun Kelly to make herself more famous?
I forgot to look up and see what she was most recently in, but I mean, I feel like Megan Fox hasn't been in anything in a long time.
So she was in Machine Gun Kelly's video Bloody Valentine. That's really like social media wise when she came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like heavy. And then
you said she was in Jennifer's Body, that movie.
So her latest movie in 2021 was Midnight in the Switch Grab.
I have no idea what that is.
So and it's got a 3.6 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, we go see a movie like 2 or 3 times a week, and I don't remember seeing that movie. I don't remember seeing an advertisement for that movie.
I say it must have been on Prime Video.
Yeah, we didn't watch it.
'Cause it wasn't on Hulu.
I don't think.
It wasn't on Netflix.
I just think that she's getting back out there, and Machine Gun Kelly is like probably the perfect person for her to be with because they're both like Machine Gun Kelly is already out there.
Right.
Like he's like you would never expect her to date him. Like, but they just work. They just look like they work so well together. You know, and I wouldn't say Megan Fox is not relevant, but she was shunned from Hollywood. Like, she wasn't able to work in Hollywood. Like, because of a lot of weird things that are going on in Hollywood, they banned her basically from Hollywood. So, she's trying to get herself back out there, as she should, because she's a great actress. But, of course, she had kids and was married, but in the reality of it, it was because she was shunned from Hollywood. She was exposing Hollywood for doing things they shouldn't be doing. And now people are starting to do that, and now you see her back out there. You know what I mean?
Is this stunt of her
it's not a stunt.
Or going in basically a see-through dress?
She wants
to the
the
VMAs. Is it better for Machine Gun Kelly, or is it better for her?
I think it's a dual thing. Like, I think that they're not really using each other. I just think they're going out there having fun as they should. I don't think it's a ploy or anything.
Well, I think that's probably one of the things that was keeping Megan Fox from moving forward is that other actresses were willing to do more on screen than she was.
Where'd you read that at?
I didn't.
She was like, she did a movie, don't know what movie it was. I want to say it was one of the Fast and the Furious movies from a long time ago, but I don't know. She was like 14 years old in a bikini, almost naked at 14 as a backup dancer for one of those movies.
Okay. So
like she was thrown into.
But now she's like level 10, basically naked in public.
Well, I'm saying like they over sexualized her at 14, 15 years old. And they shouldn't have done that. So now that she's a grown woman at 30-something, 35, like, she's like, okay, well, I can do what I want with my body. Nobody's telling me what to do or forcing me to do it. So go Megan Fox. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm here for it.
You said she was 30.
Show me more. 35.
She's 35.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she looks amazing for 35, for sure.
I mean, her body is awesome.
And I think this is doing more for her than for Machine Gun Kelly.
You do? Why?
That's just my opinion. because it's showing you can have children and come back and be beautiful and
be successful, be on camera, still be relevant.
Hang out with a Kardashian at the VMAs, like.
I would say they're probably about the same level of famous as of right now, because Kourtney doesn't. I hate to say it, she doesn't do much. She has like an online store, and she was on the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She's not nearly as business-wise compared to her other sisters, like Kendall, who's a model for Victoria's Secret, and Kylie, who's a billionaire with her makeup brands and stuff like that, or Kim with her sex tape and all that other stuff that Kim does, and her bodysuits that she's selling and stuff like that. But she's the least, you know what I'm saying, the least business savvy person. But she started hanging out with, now she's dating Travis Barker. Like, she's friends with Addison Rae, who's like a TikTok whatever phenomenon or whatever. So she's keeping herself relevant by hanging out with relevant people.
Right, being in the right circles.
Network. Kourtney, yeah. So Megan Fox, 15 years ago, before the Kardashians, Megan Fox would have been way out of Kourtney Kardashian's league. You know what I mean? Like, because she was doing Transformers, like she was like an A-list celebrity. Yeah. So now it's kind of like they're on an even slope. I hate to say it like that, but like they're both kind of like the same level of famous. So, I mean, and they both look great. Kourtney looks great too. Her and Travis are super cute, and she actually looks happy. I mean, I'm all about it. They both look happy. I mean, people were complaining that they were kissing all over each other too much. Like, both couples were. But I mean, that's what y'all want to see, and that's what y'all want to talk about. So let them do it. Shoot.
Right.
Ain't no shame in that.
So you think Machine Gun Kelly and her are equally being promoted by this stunt?
By her wearing a sheer dress?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I've seen Machine Gun Kelly more in the news than I've ever seen him in the news or being talked about before he was dating Megan Fox. Like, I didn't hear about him at all.
Right.
Now all of a sudden I hear about him because it's just a weird combination of people coming together, just like Travis Barker and Kourtney. Like, that's a weird combination. Like, you wouldn't expect that off seeing who Kourtney was dating prior to Travis. Like, that's a complete 360 or 180 or whatever.
180. Yeah.
180. That's a complete 180 of what she would normally pick to date. And same thing with Megan Fox. I don't know who she was dating before. I thought she was actually married.
She was.
I don't know if she was dating anybody else in between, but that's what I'm saying. It's a complete, like, just weird choices. That's what I'm saying. It's cool. It's cool to see. So I think they're both equally using each other. Like, she's getting more famous for being in his videos, and then his name is being put out there more because people want to video and take pictures of Megan Fox. Like, it is what it is. So he's there side by side with her.
Right.
So I say equal partnership.
What do you think of the future baby daddy comments?
I mean, they're 35 and 41. Power to you, because it gives me hope. I'm 32 to have kids that old. But, like, Kourtney Kardashian is 41. She already has 3 kids, I'm pretty sure. But hey, I mean, if that was an announcement, that was a great, epic way to make that announcement. If they both are pregnant, I doubt it. But I didn't see any wine in their hand, so.
Right.
Didn't see any drinks in their hand.
You weren't at the after party.
Yeah, I wasn't privy to that information. It was just funny, but it's just funny being 35 or 41 years old, calling somebody a baby daddy. Like, that was kind of like, I know they were trying to be funny and cute, but it was like, this is like the social norm now. Like they're not promoting like future husbands first. They're saying future baby daddies, saying like we don't need to be married.
Right, they got their own.
The culture is kind of like now you don't need to be married to have kids, which is great. Like you don't feel like you need to be married to have kids, but it's, I mean, at the same time, it's sad because kids miss out on a lot if their parents aren't married or together. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So just saying that comment was just a little weird to me. What do you think?
I mean, I think it was stupid.
Yeah.
I think it made them both look dumb.
But you really like, when Megan said it, you could tell Courtney was like, wait, we didn't practice this. Like, Courtney was like, okay. She was like, after Megan said, give it up for our future baby daddies. And she was like, Courtney's like, Travis Barker and like she was not ready for it. Like she was not. I'm pretty sure that was like a non-planned thing. But
I think it was improv.
I think Megan Fox improv that because Courtney was like, really? But anyways.
So in the last 5 years, the MTV Video Music Awards has not gotten more than 7 million viewers.
Okay, so they've not progressed.
So if it wasn't for these stunts by A-list celebrities, would the Video Music Awards even be relevant? Let me see if you know any of these songs.
Go ahead.
Video of the Year, Lil Nas X, Montero.
I know who Lil Nas X is, but Montero.
Montero, yeah, is the name of the song.
That's not Call Me When You Want, Call
Yeah.
Me When You Need, Call Me in the Morning, I'll be on the way.
Right,
Yeah, I know that
that's
song.
the one. So that was Video of the Year.
Okay. Well, it's wild.
Obviously, you know from our trip to Charlotte, who won Artist of the Year.
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Because his stuff was all over. What was that? What was
5
that?
songs in a row.
What was that? What were we listening to? Pandora?
Pandora, yeah.
Yeah. They had to change the whole genre because he was like, okay, this
That's
is like
5
a
songs
12
for Justin
Bieber song we've heard.
All right.
That's good. I'm glad he got Artist of the Year, though.
Song of the Year was Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. And she won Best New Artist.
That's the girl that was discovered off of TikTok.
I don't know.
She's like, I'll drive alone past your street.
Oh yeah, that one. That's the song of the year, guys.
The Stalker song, yeah. I'm
All
pretty
right.
sure, is that it?
And then Best
Driver's
Rap
License?
Song was Travis Scott, Franchise.
You know what? I don't know that. I don't know that franchise. I know Travis Scott.
I pulled it up and listened to it earlier. It's garbage.
Really?
Like legit, it's garbage.
Didn't Travis Scott do that song that we like?
What was Swaco?
That high song? The Highest in the Room song?
Oh, yeah.
I like that song.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Shut up. No, it was not. Was it really? Dang.
So,
Okay. Well, my
mean,
thing is, MTV doesn't really play music videos anymore.
Have you seen any of those music videos?
I did see Lil Nas X music video.
Okay.
Because it was so controversial.
Right.
Controversial. Whatever. Because it was like worshiping the devil or whatever. So, yeah, I did see that one. Brief snippets of it. But I don't look up music videos anymore, really. Like,
Right. So you think it's just that the music video has gone? Or that MTV's not playing music videos anymore? Or you think that people just look at their music videos on YouTube?
that people look at music videos on YouTube.
And so MTV's got to come up with something else to be competitive, basically?
I mean, we don't even get the MTV channel, so I feel like a lot of people don't really use cable like that anymore.
Everything is streaming.
Yeah, and they were already phasing out music videos from MTV like 15 years ago. Like where they were only on at like midnight, or they were only
just
on
just
like
to fill time.
Yeah, to fill time. It wasn't like they would have TRL, like the countdown or whatever, every day, but they started filling that with reality TV shows instead of music videos.
Right.
And now when they play music videos, there are channels that play music videos, but they're not from MTV. They're just like old videos that play to fill a channel. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't watch.
You feel like the VMAs are irrelevant?
I just think it's a tradition, just like in small towns, they have the same events every year.
Right.
And the same old people go to them only. And they just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something that they've done every year as a tradition. So they don't like to do anything different. I feel like that's kind of what MTV has kind of become. Like, it's a traditional thing. It's not a relevant thing. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Only a select people really like tune in and attend that anymore. Unless they're getting awarded something.
Right. I feel like basically the only celebrities that were there were nominated.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I think it's a traditional thing that they're just keeping up with.
Free Britney.
Mm-hmm.
The dad's going to give up conservatorship.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
My thing is, nobody really, I mean, I hate to say it like this, because I was a Britney Spears fan. Britney Spears is awesome. Her music videos were hot. Seeing her in concert as a kid, awesome. She's a great entertainer, a great performer. But like, nobody really cared and made this much of an effort to free Britney until the past year. Like, so she's been in a conservatorship and not being able to do what she wants to do for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So where was all this hype up at 10 years ago? Like,
you think it's just an awareness thing? Like, people just weren't aware?
People knew that she was in a conservatorship. But
or
then when she started posting, like, when social media really became a thing, a bigger thing, like, they started seeing how she was acting on social media, how she looked. Mm-hmm. Like, she looks like she needs help. Like, that is not the Britney I remember. So I don't know if it's a real Britney or a replica or a very drugged up Britney, but like, that's not the Britney I remember as a kid. So, this whole movement, like, I'm really glad it happened. I mean, it's kind of late. She's 35. You know what I'm saying? Like, her whole, like, adulthood, she lost, really. Like, she hasn't been able to make her own decisions or do anything. I just feel like if it was a normal person that didn't have money, that regular person wouldn't have had to be forced to do a conservatorship. They'd be walking around the street acting crazy.
Right. So
if they're claiming that she's doing this because they did this because she had a mental illness. They only cared about her because she was rich.
This has only been,
and her parents want her money.
So her father, announced that he's going to end the conservatorship about a week ago, right? Mm-hmm. Over concerns that her lawsuits would end up bankrupting her. Right.
Right. Which means he'll no longer get the money.
So in the first weekend after this, she posts topless photos.
You saw
post a nude video showing her butt. And
she got engaged.
Got engaged.
Yeah.
And she changed her hair. Like a completely new hairstyle. Mm-hmm. So if her father doesn't have the conservatorship and she really has bipolar disorder, who should have this conservatorship? That's the big question. Should it be her sister?
No, her sister's trash too. But that's what I'm saying. So
should it be her new husband? So it announced that boyfriend Sam Afghari and her are engaged. And apparently she's got one sick ring with a engraving.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But if she's really bipolar and they really gave her a conservatorship because she's bipolar and going to spend all her money and blow all her money,
let her do it.
Just
it's
let her
her
be
life.
broke. Yeah, it's her life.
But now,
but she's bipolar. She's sick.
She has a husband. She's gonna have a husband. So I mean.
So the husband should just have the whole control.
Nobody should have control. Like it should be a conversation, I guess. Like I don't know, but those sound like erratic behaviors. Like
right.
I didn't know
Is
she
that
was
not
posting topless.
To me, it's just like bad timing. So I don't even know. She may not even have control of her Instagram.
That they were saying that she didn't prior to.
So somebody may be doing that to make her look bad. That actually makes more sense to me.
Sam? What if it's her husband?
To make her look bad, so he gets the conservatorship. It makes sense to me.
And then it's like, oh, it's leaking. Like I don't know where it's coming from. Like where else? Why else would she be taking nude pictures? Who's she sending them to? Her man, probably. So who else would leak that? Like her man? I don't know.
The topless photos. The caption basically was talking about age is just a number. It's basically saying how good she looks for her age.
But she released that?
That's the question, right?
I don't know.
So
only time will tell, but I mean, basically I think the people were advocating for her, obviously not knowing the full story, but also like her dad is a snake, like in general, like he's overworked her whole life. She's wanted to make decisions and he shot her down. No, I mean, I just, like I said, I don't know. I just feel like it's probably something, I think if she were to be able to have access and full custody of her children again, I think that's when she really snapped. Like, I don't think, when the paparazzi and stuff were messing with her kids and following her, she just didn't know how to handle that. She went into like protection mode, protect her children,
right.
And she did erratic things to protect her kid, like not wear a seatbelt and drive with her kid on her lap. Like, I mean,
I don't know. To me, that kind of thing is like stuff country people do, and she's from the country, so it's not like I sat in my mom's lap and drove many times.
It was like a baby though,
yeah.
like a fresh baby, like not like you were 8.
There's a photo of me in my dad's lap while he's riding the lawnmower.
Yeah, that's different.
When I was a baby, like a like a 1-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm. That's different than like getting behind a full SUV. Like,
I mean, I understand, but
I get it, but that's what I'm saying. I think those pictures.
That stuff is not as looked down upon in the
country.
In the country.
But I think those pictures just made her snap because it makes her look like a bad parent. And that even though that she had the best intentions, like I need to get my child away from this, I need to protect my child from these people that are out to hurt them or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that's when her bipolar episodes really, supposedly, if she's bipolar or mental illness or whatever, that's when it got exposed and claimed as that, and they took her kids away, and that's when it snapped. Like, that's when she snapped. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if she was able to have custody of her kids again, we probably might see a turn of events in her behavior. But
so it makes sense to you that this Instagram stuff would be a setup.
Yeah,
to show the court that she's still crazy, just keep a conservatorship for somebody.
Right, but you can also see it like this. She's been controlled for 10 years, so if I'm told I'm not able to do something, I do it in that day. I'm like, you said I can't do that? Watch me do it. How about that? But she hasn't been able to do that for 10 years, so imagine all that built up.
Imagine how much money she would make on OnlyFans.
I'm sure, but she's not allowed to have one.
Yeah. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. You know how much built up.
She would blow OnlyFans out of the water. Like, OnlyFans would have to.
They'd shut it down.
OnlyFans would literally have to have a new server specifically just for her page if she had an OnlyFans.
For sure. But what I'm saying is, imagine all those years of being told you couldn't do something.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second you're able to do it, you're like, all right, I'm going to do all of it now. That could be her case too.
Right.
Because I feel like I would do that. I like my hair too much. But if I had, someone told me I couldn't cut my hair or have it a certain way, for 10 years I had to only do it their way, the first thing I'm doing is I'm changing my hair.
Right.
Like,
but is it bad timing? If she really is bad timing, choice, it is bad timing. If she's trying to win court cases,
for sure,
you know, to get control of her life back, it's bad timing.
She's been with this guy.
It's either somebody posted it to make her look bad, or she's
ready.
Really nuts.
No, she's just ready to do what she was supposed to be doing the whole time. Like, she couldn't get married to her fiance. They've been together a while.
Right.
She was not allowed to get married. She was not allowed to. She was forced to take birth control or have a new whatever form of birth control. I don't know, so I'm not gonna say, so that she can't have kids.
Right.
Like she that wasn't her choice.
Right. She's in a conservatorship. Yeah.
So
she doesn't
now she's like, maybe she's exposing her body. Like, this is my body now. I can do what I want with it.
Right.
And good for her. That's what I'm saying. You can see it different ways. All three ways that we just talked about. Meaning someone trying to set her up.
Right.
Meaning
which is where I'm leaning. I'm leaning to somebody trying to set her up to keep the conservatorship.
So that's one way. The next way is that she really is just bottled up for so long that she's like, I finally can do what I want to do. And she's doing it all very quickly, too. Or 3, she is experiencing or exhibiting erratic behavior, and she really has a mental illness or bipolar illness. So, like I said, only time will tell on that.
What's up, babe?
Well, there's another thing that I read from this paper right here. From someone who's done research about what's going on in Google Trends and whatnot. His name is Nate, but yeah, Zoom apparently is adding live. What's that word?
Translation.
Translation.
Oh my god.
Zoom is adding live translation and adding Facebook.
Getting added to. Just
I got it.
And added to Facebook virtual reality.
Yeah, that's wild. That's great. Thank you so much for not writing clearly, so I had to ask you.
Alright, so say it again.
No,
this is all gonna be funny.
No, it's what? So restart?
No, it's fine.
Oh. So what?
What's the question?
Do you think that this is a better move for Facebook to add this component of virtual translation, or do you think it's a better deal for Zoom?
So I personally think that it's irrelevant.
Dang, why did we write it down?
I just took it to a whole separate level because I think the one that you had trouble with today.
Which one? Oh, Google Meet or Team Meets?
So Microsoft Teams.
I don't even know.
Is going to blow all that out of the water.
Really? I can't even get my video to work for that. So.
Right, because everything's already there on every Microsoft computer, which is the most popular computer.
Interesting.
So if you can add the Teams to Office 365, which everybody's paying monthly for already, why would you add Zoom?
Right.
You know?
Well, maybe they'll sell it to Microsoft Teams once it's going through a trial thing, or Microsoft Teams will come up with their own way to do it better, probably.
But because I mean, that's what, unless they prioritized, made it, unless they made the software where only Zoom and Facebook can have it, Microsoft Teams is going to steal the translation stuff. And Microsoft computers are already all over the world.
Right.
Whereas Zoom is just an app. Facebook is just an app. Right?
Maybe they think that people will use it more if they can translate.
But if you take Microsoft Teams out of it, you know, which one comes out ahead? Facebook and their virtual reality, or Zoom?
What do you mean by virtual reality?
So Facebook's coming out with virtual reality.
Meaning what?
Like a place that you go in and, you know, like a video game, basically, virtual reality.
A video game with what?
With other people.
Like, so, I can go on Facebook and
be in a virtual reality with someone in
what
China.
What does that mean, though? We already connect with people all over the world.
Right, so then the translation would be able to let you understand somebody from Japan.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they already have that. When someone writes in Chinese, like, there's it says see translation, and you can hit it and see what they're saying.
Right.
So that's already, like, being done already. So
yeah, but imagine it being in real time. Like, I'm talking to you and you hear English.
Yeah, that's cool.
Spanish.
I mean, I would probably use that if Microsoft Teams didn't have that. But I feel like if you're talking to somebody around the world, like as a big company, you're not using Microsoft Teams. That's a newer thing. Like, people were using Skype back in the day for that.
But then you were having to have a translator. Now you don't. With Zoom, you don't have to have a translator.
Dang. Well, that's crazy. I would love to see how that works out. But you think it's going to be irrelevant because...
I think Teams will steal it, but do you think being able to live translate that will help foreign diplomacy and actually, like, so regular Americans can interact with people from other countries where they don't speak English? Or vice versa, people that don't speak English can interact with
definitely going to connect people. And I think it's for the better. Because if you're relying on someone to translate, even now, like going to the grocery store and not, or even working with groups or something, like, if you can't understand what they want, you're losing like a big chunk of your business because you don't speak their language.
Right.
So you can't capture that business if you can't communicate. So, I mean, I feel like it's awesome. Like, that's why I wanted to learn different languages already, because I want to be able to communicate with people, because that's how you connect with people. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so is it better for Facebook or is it better for Zoom? Their partnership.
I think it's...
Does Facebook's network of people give Zoom the better outcome, or does Zoom's translate give Facebook the better outcome?
What do you think?
I think it would help Zoom out a lot more, right? Zoom's a lot smaller company and they don't have as many people's information.
Oh, right? Yeah, Facebook listens, so I don't know if Zoom listens to you. So, I think it's better for Zoom.
I think it's better for Zoom, and Zuckerberg's coming out with, you know, glasses.
Yeah, I showed you that.
Yeah, that can
Ray-Ban
glasses that can take photos right from your glasses
in the moment. Phones are going to be irrelevant.
Right.
It's crazy. So, like, you're going to have a little mini computer on your face. Like, that's wild.
At all times, yeah.
Then you'll be able to see. So if you're recording, people know you're recording them because a red light will come up on your glasses, so it's less invasive. Like, I can't just go around my phone and be like, you know what I mean? Like, video people without them knowing. Like, people are going to know with those glasses because the little light on the corner right here will turn red.
I'm painting that light. I'm just kidding.
But that's how they video, and like that's the camera. So it's interesting. Like, I thought that was really cool. I'm gonna wait till it comes out because I don't want to pay full price for those. I'm sure they're not going to be available for everybody.
I mean, these glasses are probably $1,000.
Well, it's a mini computer, probably more.
You know, so
because they're also sunglasses built in, and they also have the Ray-Ban name. You know what I mean? Like, the name is already out there. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, we saw this on TikTok, so I'm not really sure if that's real or not, but it looked pretty real to me. Like,
Right.
he was releasing a prototype.
He's definitely coming out with it.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in agreement that basically
It'd
it's
be
better
helping.
for Zoom.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Give Zoom a fighting chance against the giant Microsoft.
Zoom took over during the pandemic. Like, everything was Zoom this, Zoom that. Even if it wasn't a video, it's almost like, what is it, Nate? Where you say, give me a Post-it. Post-it, even if it's off-brand and it's not Post-it, you still call it a Post-it.
Right.
A Post-it note. So I was saying, we'll do a Zoom call. We weren't really doing a Zoom call. We were doing like a duo call from Google or a Teams thing. Like, I correlated naturally to Zoom because that's what everybody was doing.
Right.
During the pandemic, everything was Zoom this, Zoom that. So they're growing and they've grown, but I think the hype is definitely like losing.
They're losing their hype
because people are meeting again in person,
and they're going to use Facebook's network.
Yeah,
to connect more people.
Mm-hmm. And but I'm saying people missed seeing people. Like, we're humans. Like, no matter how technology driven we are,
you need that interaction.
We still need the interaction. So if I can meet with somebody in person, I'd way much rather do that than a Zoom call or a Zoom meeting, because you can't. It's awkward. Like, I'm very good and personable, but like, being behind a computer where you couldn't see what's around them and it's just their face, and it's like, what do you talk about? Like, there's nothing around them to like see what they like or dislike, and you know what I'm saying? You can't see the pictures of their families and stuff to have a conversation like that. So it was just weird to connect really with people during that time. But I agree with you. It's more for Zoom to get their hype back up.
Awesome. So, Malignant came out in theaters this weekend.
We didn't see that.
Apparently nobody else did either. It only got $2 million at the box office.
Dang. Well, it wasn't even... Oh, it did play here. It is playing here.
Do movies need to take a different strategy when it comes to advertising?
Yeah.
Or is it still just people being scared of the coronavirus Delta variant?
What I'm saying is, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but like I said, I went to a restaurant today, packed. There wasn't even a seat open.
Right. So people are going out.
People are going out. Like, we were walking around downtown. We live in a small town, so like, we started at one place, and then you see everybody else just walking around trying to figure out where they're going. You walk up to the door, closed. We're like, they're not normally closed on Tuesdays. Like, Monday's the day to close. Go to the next place. Closed for cleaning. An hour. Closed for this. So we're like, okay, as normal people, typically you only have an hour lunch break. So we're going to the first place now that's open. Like, because we already wasted 15 minutes trying to figure out where we were going. I feel like people aren't scared here, at least, to go out. So... But if you think about it, New York being one of the major places that you would go see movies, whatever.
Right.
Big cities
where it would be at.
Where the AMC and movies numbers were coming from, like, those people aren't going out. I doubt those movies are even open. So they already have lost numbers because people aren't going to the movies, and that's not like a date thing anymore. People aren't going because people might be still scared. There's but there's so many other ways you can watch movies now without having to leave your home.
Right. This one's available on HBO Max.
And also, if you think about it, everything is being pushed virtual. Mm-hmm. Like dating, there's apps. You don't go out in person and meet people anymore.
Right.
You meet with them on an app.
Or you look that funny when you do it.
What?
Meet people in person.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, if everything's being pushed virtually, like, are dates going to be virtual again? Like, what do you think? Not again. Do you think dates, like dating in general, like, let's have a little Zoom date tonight, even though they live 5 doors down from each other?
Right.
Like,
that's crazy.
Are people doing that? I don't know.
And then just
the
only
movies
personal
are suffering.
contact is the actual hookup.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's the culture
wild.
that we're in right now. Thank God I'm not in it.
Right.
I got me a man. It's him. If you didn't know, it's him. But yeah. Shut up. But you get what I'm saying? Like, we automatically, 10 years ago, we'd had movie dates. We go to the movies once a week now.
Yeah, we go to the movies every week. What are you talking about? Oh, we're about to go see that movie right now.
But people aren't doing that. Good, you can stop and buy me that cookie that you ate on the way, and I can put it in my purse.
Okay, I see you. You gonna bring a purse? What?
They're gonna question it. Yeah, I'll put it right here in the shirt area.
Mm-hmm.
Like we contribute enough. Like I feel like I am pumping AMC full of revenue, but the rest of the world is not apparently. But that movie wasn't really like advertised that well. We just saw that preview. We've been going to the movies since they've opened back up.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen that preview like once. Yeah. And we go see those movies like very often. We go see movies very often. So like the Rock movie was promoted in every single movie that we went to see. Yeah. Jungle Cruise. Cruella really wasn't because it was one of the first ones that came out. What were the other ones that we went to see that we saw literally in every single preview? Old. Which was terrible. Trash.
Don't go see that one.
It was just, I didn't get closure from that. I just didn't understand. But yeah, I feel like that one wasn't promoted very well. And I think she's the actress from Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
So she's like kind of like an up and coming actress. So maybe they didn't feel like they needed to promote that very well. I don't know. But
I say, should they take a different approach when advertising movies?
Advertising them, sure. But
like should they have like a grounds approach where you say, hey, say you're going to see this movie this weekend. Mm-hmm. In your feed.
What?
Like you tell a Instagram model to say, "Hey, I'm going to see *Malignant* this weekend. Are you coming with me?" ?
Yeah,
like
I feel like
a grounds approach, like where you're using influencers to.
Maybe they're doing a lot of old school advertising still. Right. People have not.
Should they change to a different form of advertising? Because it's clearly not working. Like even the big movies are not grossing the big amounts like they should. Like Black Widow should have got triple what it got. Right, even with the streaming.
I think
it only got like 140 million with the streaming. It should have easily been in the 300s. Easily.
But Netflix is having like their biggest years the past 2 years. Like a lot of Hollywood people are going to Netflix.
Right.
So maybe the movies are becoming obsolete, which I really hope they're not, because I actually really enjoy. The big
blockbuster release, they're going to release them all lower streaming services.
Yeah, but I mean, I enjoy going there and seeing them, so I hope that they don't. But I think with these uncertain times that people are still scared and they're not going to pump a lot of money into advertisement in movies if they know they're not getting the audience that they normally would. Just like that new movie that came out, we went to see the Marvel movie. What is it called?
Shang-Chi.
That movie theater should have been packed. Because if it was normal,
it was more packed than it was anything else we had been to.
We went to see right before the pandemic, December. I want to say it was a Star Wars movie. Right. Or one of the big movies that came out in December.
And there wasn't
we actually had to sit on top of each other, basically, because there wasn't a seat left. That was the December before the pandemic. Right. That was in March. That's what I expected movies to be like on a Friday. That was a Thursday night, the opening night.
Yep.
So it's like, are we ever going to see those numbers again? Is AMC ever going to see that again? I don't know. Like,
you should.
This is like the theme of this, but only time will tell. They've been open for 100 years. They just celebrated their 100th year in the middle of a pandemic, which is so sad. But also, you can't rely on one stream of income.
Right.
So if they've had one stream of income for 100 years.
Right.
Like, they're only releasing movies to the movie theater for 100 years.
So you think they should basically become the HBO Max? Where you can actually order it from the AMC app
And sit at home and like work hard at the Stubbs rewards or whatever.
Because AMC really doesn't make that much money on the actual ticket.
They're gonna have
they
to
make
now.
money on popcorn and candy.
See, and if people aren't
drinks.
going to the movies, they're gonna have to figure out an alternative way to make money.
Right.
So it's up the ticket prices to people. If I want to be an AMC Stubbs holder, and I primarily want to watch my stuff at home, instead of charging me $20, charge me $40 and give me access to all the old movies that AMC has released over the 100 years.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
Right? Like, put it all in the app. Like, if I want to watch Snow White from, you know what I'm saying? Or some crazy ass movie.
It's just included in the $20 a month.
Yeah. Because there's only so many movies that I could sit here and watch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to watch 100 movies in a month.
Right.
I might watch a movie a day, max, you know?
Right.
Or if it's raining or whatever on a weekend, I might watch 2 or 3. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll get their money's worth.
Yeah.
Make it. I mean, I probably just gave them $1 million idea.
Billion. Do it, AMC. Until then, sell some more shares.
Sell some more shares.
Sell some more shares.
I think that's a genius idea.
$55 a share.
I mean, the stock is going up, and I do like. I will be honest with you. I am happy that AMC is acknowledging their stockholders and realizing that they did save them, because, like, I like getting my little free reward for being a stockholder, and I still am holding that stock. So I have faith. I mean, I didn't have faith originally because I did buy some stock and sold it at a loss, and then bought more in at, you know, and then it's popped since. But I would have been in at $8 a share, $5 a share versus 13 that I'm in now. But anyways, long story short, I should have sold that, but you know, whatever. It is what it is.
It gone down to like $3 or something.
I know. But like now I'm just holding my stuff. Like maybe one day it'll pop off. If not, whatever. It's money that I just am not gonna care about. But I don't care if I lose. But I do want to take that money out. So we need you to help me take some of that out. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The ones that like my buying power. That needs to come out. I don't need to have all that in there and Robinhood. But anyways, yeah. So
some movies need to come up with a new idea on their big releases. Basically.
Yeah, or just account for people not wanting to go there anymore in person, because everything is becoming virtual and being pushed virtual. Like I said, even dating. So if you're dating online, are you going to the movie? Are you going to the movies? If you're doing everything online, probably not. I can't get to know you in a movie theater that I've only talked to you on virtual apps or, you know, text messaging. I don't know who you are. Do I want to sit in a movie alone with you? Like, now that movies are like quieter, like nobody around you, and I'm sitting next to somebody I don't even know? Maybe not.
I mean, I'm loving it because it's like we're basically booked a private movie theater.
Well, I'm saying, if we're just first dating.
It's a great date night.
If we're first dating, though, and we don't know each other, is that a good spot to go? During a pandemic where nobody is actually physically going to the movies as much as they were in the past, so you could be trying anything you want in a movie theater. I don't know who you are. Am I sitting quietly in a movie with you? I don't know.
Right. I hear you.
You know, I mean, probably not. If it was me, probably not.
I mean, you're the one keeping the stock, so you think...
I mean, I'm going, but I'm saying if I was
clearly it's going to come back.
But if I'm freshly dating, like I said, I'm not going to go to the movies now with somebody I've just met. When there's nobody else in the movie theater.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna rep Ensorsale.com no matter where we go, so it's fine.
Where'd you plug that in? That doesn't make any sense. I'm over you. But I'm not over Ensorsale because that's my company too. But I'm just over you.
Yeah. I'm into custom clothing no matter where I go. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna look good. So you know, and I ain't gonna wear stuff that's off the shelf. I gotta customize it. You know. Right. You know.
All right.
And there's no minimum on orders, so
that's amazing.
You know, so you can order 1 or you can order 300. You let me know. I'll make it for you. What's up, babe?
So what do you want to talk about, babe?
So They're doing a recall election in California.
Of Gavin Newsom.
That's right.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. What did old
Does
Gavin,
it even matter?
What did old Gavin do?
Does it even matter?
What did old Gavin do? What did Gavin do?
So does it even matter? Is anybody that get elected going to change how the state of California is ran?
I mean, why are they kicking him out?
Well, basically, I mean, they recalled him because he had done such... Basically, he had done such ridiculous things during the pandemic to hurt California businesses, to make people leave California.
So why was he able to run again? That's the part I don't understand.
Well, see, he's like defending himself. Basically, like they voted to recall him, to have a recall election. If enough people vote yes to the recall, then he gets recalled, and whoever they want to switch it out.
But my thing is, how relevant is that? He's been in office for how many
3
years? 3?
Yeah.
So it's like now all of a sudden after 3
Yeah. So
years,
whoever gets in is only going to have a year until the next election.
Oh.
That's kind of the point. Like they're not going to change anything in a year.
Right.
So is it like this is just government pandering to save face for the bad job they did?
I guess. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. That you can
be recalled, yeah.
I mean, how much funds, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, all kinds of companies have donated to Gavin Newsom's campaign, and those companies like got special treatment during the pandemic.
But I'm saying to recall somebody, how much does that cost to do?
A lot.
Yeah, so it's like...
And they could do mail-in ballots. Again.
They really did get special treatment, those companies?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they were allowed to come into California, film videos. Netflix is one of them.
They donated to his campaign?
Netflix donated to his campaign, yeah.
Mm. Well, that's not fair.
So do you think...
What do you think?
This is going to help, or...
What do you think?
I don't think this is going to fix California at all. I think it's a complete waste of time. You know...
They should just let him finish out his
It's
year.
basically like the impeachment trials for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's great if you want to say he's doing a bad job and you want to get rid of him or he did something illegal. But at the end of the day, it was a big hoax and a waste of time.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just government posturing, basically. Like, instead of fixing the real problems. So, like, at least meet Kevin Paffrath, actually came up with some ideas to try to help. Even though I don't agree with the ideas. At least he was coming up with something other than, we'll just let people die on the street. And let everybody be homeless because they can't have a job because I shut them all down.
I mean, they already had a problem with homelessness already in California before the pandemic, so...
Right, it just escalated it.
Mm-hmm.
The pandemic escalated it big time. Right?
Yeah, so, I don't know.
They got water shortages.
I think...
fires, earthquakes.
Excuse me. I think California is just going to become a ghost town eventually, or it's going to just be...
But it's one of the most beautiful states in the entire country. Like,
well, if they
got oceans and mountains and prairies, and I mean, it's very similar to North Carolina, where we got oceans and prairies and mountains.
But I'm saying if they're going to bust out people and put people in camps and stuff that some people are proposing, like, eventually California is just going to be for the rich people.
Right. I mean, it already is, because you can't afford to rent or buy there.
Mm-hmm. So
as a normal person without rent control. Right?
So whose job is that?
What, the rent control?
To fix all that.
Well,
Right. Nobody's...
Well, you got to get the government regulation out of the way so that entrepreneurs can go in there and fix it. Right?
Yeah.
Like if they won't allow you to build so that people will have homes and build a certain type of home, you know, so families can go in there and live, or apartment complexes or whatever you need to do to, you know, fix the problem. Right? Like entrepreneurs can't fix it if the government doesn't allow them to fix it.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, I think Gavin Newsom's going to end up being out, but I don't think that.
You think he's going to go to jail?
No.
They're trying to make him go to jail?
No, he's not being impeached like that. But
they're just trying to get him out.
They're just trying to get him out so that businesses that are still shut down and closed down can't. Will you quit messing with your hair like that? Businesses that are still shut down and closed down can open back up.
I'm sorry.
You know.
I just don't know how it's looking like on the screen, so I'm trying to...
Looks amazing, baby. You know that.
Whatever.
So.
Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt. I feel bad. I don't really know much about that situation because we don't live in California.
Right.
So
it definitely doesn't matter to us, but.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't. I mean, we should know about what's going on in California. Right. Just like New York, when they shipped all those people to North Carolina, all those homeless people here,
right.
Gave them $15,000 and dropped them off.
You put a bus ticket and send them to Fayetteville.
Yeah, or there's other places they sent them to. I think Rocky Mount was one of them.
Places where there's no jobs.
There's no jobs there.
At least send you to a place where there's a job.
Right.
You know?
And that didn't make any sense. But, I mean, that affected us. Because they literally took their homeless population and dumped them over here. Mm-hmm. Instead of helping them solve the problem there.
Right. Just said, here, go be somebody else's problem.
Right. Like that, how does that make you feel as a human being? Like garbage, like you don't matter.
Well, I mean, how does that make you feel as a North Carolinian who most of our state, like the average, if you excluded the cities in our state, mm-hmm. the average salary would be like $22,000 a year, and they gave them $15,000 to come down here to live. Basically, almost everything that a normal North Carolinian makes.
Right.
Which is insane.
That is insane. I worked 2 jobs one time in the past to make $15,000
right.
a year. So to just be handed that, I mean, yeah, but I'm still going back to the humanitarian part of it. Like, how does it make you feel as a homeless person? Like, sorry, we can't help you, but maybe giving you this $15,000 or however much, and we send you somewhere else to start over. Like, they still have the same issues. They still don't have a place to live. You didn't help them set up a place to live.
Right.
They know nothing about the area.
Have no mental health. They have no drug rehabilitation.
Right. And so it was just like pushing them off
to have a problem
somewhere else. You can't get
the veterans help with their PTSD.
It's just dismissing them, and it's kind of sad. I mean, even walking in downtown Charlotte, right? I mean, right there underneath the overpass, there are homeless people living there. Mm-hmm. There's a homeless shelter, a men's homeless shelter, right in the area that we were in.
Right.
So, I mean, we already have people that aren't getting the help they need here. Why are you sending more of them to us? So, anyways, just pushing the problem.
But who runs the state of California is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And this recall election is not going to do anything to change it.
Right. Just let him finish out his year or bow down respectfully. You know what I'm saying? And then start fresh. I mean, that's all they can do. I mean, I don't see why spending all that money.
The problem is if Newsom gets out and Larry Elder is allowed to become the governor, mm-hmm. right, the Republican candidate, mm-hmm. right, the Democrat Congress of California is not going to work with Larry Elder to do anything. So then that forces Larry Elder to be a dictator governor as well. It's the same problem. You have to fix the problem together in Congress.
I mean, my solution is just to have Congress have terms.
Right. Well, they're never going to vote to have terms on their lifelong
They should, though.
free pass, basically.
They should. Because obviously these people aren't doing what they should be doing for us as the people. And they're so disconnected from us as the people because they've been the chosen one for 60 years. They don't know what happened over the course of 60 years. They're not out there talking to people like in reality. They're not talking to people that they used to be because they get whatever they want.
But that's why...
Unless they personally are affected by something, they're not gonna, or their family is personally affected, they don't care.
I'm gonna say I'm interested more to see what the voter turnout's gonna be
For
the recall election, more than what the actual results are gonna be.
You're saying like they have to vote on it, a recall.
Yep. So we'll see how many people vote. Former ECU player Zay Jones.
Who?
Wide receiver.
Who?
Zay Jones.
Who?
Zay Jones.
Who?
Zay Jones. Catches the winning touchdown pass last night for the Raiders in overtime.
What? That's awesome.
Did
you watch that game?
No.
Oh.
I fell asleep at halftime.
Aww.
Like a normal working human being.
Cookie, I'm so sorry you have to work.
Alright. Me too.
That's awesome. Anyway. So proud of our ECU alumni.
Right. So.
Pirates.
Should the Raiders give more targets to Zay Jones now that he's shown that he is a dependable wide receiver?
First thought is I don't have Zay Jones on my fantasy team, so I don't give a flying bloop. Just kidding.
Zay.
I don't have him on my fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I only care about my fantasy players. So.
Well, you a loser this week anyway.
Be quiet.
Because you didn't pick up Zay Jones.
I know. Zay. I'm sorry. But probably, right? I mean, is he like a rookie or something?
No, this is like his third year, I think.
Oh. I mean, how many years are you considered a rookie?
1.
Oh.
All right.
I didn't know you had tenure after 1 year, like.
Tenure. I don't know about all that, but.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Does anybody else on our fantasy team have him?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That would have been cool to know.
But.
Anyways.
Isn't it cool that ECU alumni is doing big things?
It is,
in
because
the NFL.
ECU is kind of struggling with their their football's ability the past couple of years, I feel like. So, that's great. Zay Jones.
So.
Shout out.
The Panthers played the Jets.
Oh my
weekend.
goodness. And we were so blessed.
We were blessed to be able to go to the game.
Yes. And we had some great seats. Thanks, Mike, from Aaron's Furniture. Appreciate you. We're actually sitting on the couch that Aaron's Furniture sold us. So thank you.
Yep.
Had to shout them out.
So Sam Darnold got his revenge on his old team for trading him.
Dang.
The Jets.
His name wasn't called though.
And you can see why people hate Jets fans. As soon as we walk in the stadium, it's Jets. We got an easy one today,
They're
boys.
so obnoxious. Like
They're worse than Cowboy fans.
I'm just like,
they're basically the Cowboys of the AFC. Well, yeah, the Cowboys don't win either. But
dang. I'm just saying that Jets, they were so annoying, and I even signed up to give my information to a car dealership so I can get me a free shirt and
Panther shirt.
a Panther shirt, and then a Jets fan behind me stole it off my seat, and I was like, "Hold up, bruh." I turned and looked. I'm like, "Excuse me," it's sitting in his lap. And I was like, "Is that your shirt?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, that's funny because mine was just sitting on the back of this chair." Like, are you sure that's not your? Are you sure that's yours? Like, he's like, oh, here you go. Thank you. What the heck? How you gonna steal a Panthers jersey
When
and you're not
Jets
even
fan.
a Panthers fan, right?
Just 'cause
Like,
you
you're
moved to
annoying.
Charlotte. You're trying to fit in. He was trying to put it on so he could sneak out.
Probably when he knew he was losing. Like, well, let me go ahead and switch this jersey real quick. Nah, bro, we heard you cheering for the Jets the whole time. Anyways.
So the Panthers got the victory.
But they struggled.
Yeah? You saw struggle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't you?
Yeah. Then tell me about
Didn't
it.
we talk about it?
Where'd they struggle at?
I mean, they didn't struggle with defense.
No, so the defense played really well.
I think the defense did really well.
They only gave up 14 points.
Christian McCaffrey took a knee and didn't do the full touchdown, which kind of messed up people's fantasy stuff.
He didn't get to 100 yards.
Yeah.
Rushing.
I was like, why would you not just go the other 2 yards? I'm so...
He stopped before 100 yards.
Like, I'm
so he could have got
confused.
the 100-yard bonus.
Right.
For his fantasy owners.
So that's number one. Like,
But he already had 32 points in fantasy, so
it doesn't matter. He could have just went.
But he could have been number one.
They were just throwing to the center. Like, they weren't like going around people. Like, they were just running in the center of the people, like thinking they were gonna knock everybody over.
So the offense, I felt, was very predictable. Right? It's like they knew where the ball was going. Every play, right?
They studied.
You know, the couple times they didn't, we scored, but you know, we should have blown the New York Jets out by 40 with the offensive weapons that the Panthers have.
And that's right, but we didn't.
You know, I even played the rookie Marshall Jr. on my fantasy squad, thinking he was going to get mop up action. You know, heck, I was only expecting Darnold to play a half.
But his name wasn't called that much, was it?
Sam Darnold? Yeah, he's the quarterback.
For who?
The Panthers.
Oh, yeah, we were watching the same game. I'm just saying.
All right.
My bad. So. Anyway.
But Zach Wilson got sacked a lot and got pressured a lot. You know, he was like 7 for 22 to start the game, so he was doing very poorly. But it's because he wasn't getting protection, you know, which is great for the Panthers. So, but all in all, it was a great game.
It was awesome.
You know, I am excited for the future, even though I was disappointed with our offensive performance. You know,
it was the first game.
It was the first game, but I felt like we could do a lot better.
Hopefully, we do.
So, go Panthers, go Sam Darnold. We believe in you.
Woo-woo.
Whoop, whoop.
Even though you're not my fantasy quarterback, Josh Allen is, so go Josh.
So that ends our sports coverage of the week.
Dun, dun, dun. What is that?
I won in fantasy, Meredith didn't.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won.
High five.
Fantasy's so weird because Meredith gets like 150 something points and loses.
Right.
Somebody got 195 points this week.
Right.
Her opponent did. And then I get 130 points and win.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Hey.
So
that's
it just shows
crazy.
you it's just the matchup that matters.
Really?
You know,
honestly.
in fantasy. But you know,
whatevs. I'm not bitter.
you'll end up in the playoffs. I'll end up like 1 in.
Well, I hope so.
13 or something.
I worked hard to be in the playoffs last year.
All right.
They've been going on 5 years playing this, so I was in the playoffs for the first time.
All right.
Last year. So, anyways.
AOC wears a dress that says "Tax the Rich" on the back of it.
Isn't she rich?
She's considered rich to me.
Dope.
What are your thoughts?
I would love for her to donate her salary to whoever she wants to give it to.
Right.
Since she's rich and she feels like she needs to pay, let her pay. At this point, like, I feel like it's almost like for cities, for example, they tried to when I worked for a city. They tried to release this program where you could donate your hours to somebody who used up all their hours for whatever illness or sickness they had. And you were able to donate your sick time to those people.
For somebody that had a heart attack.
Yeah, and needed to get paid. Whatever. And you know what I'm saying? So
family member died, whatever.
Why don't we make that a thing for the people who want to pay more?
Just let them pay more?
Just let them pay more. And for the people that feel like, you know what, I need my money this year. I can't donate this year. Because of X, whatever the reason is. Let's see how many people get in line for that. Let's do that. Let's see how many people, all these celebrities who throw their political opinions and say we need to help the poor. What are y'all doing to help the poor? Galas are not helping the poor.
Right.
Throwing parties are not helping the poor. Like, why don't you go ahead and give your salary and
why were you at the gala in the first place? All right. So
that's my personal opinion.
All right, so here I'm going to teach you a little business finance lesson here.
Who? Me?
No. AOC. We're talking AOC here.
I mean, but that's a great. Hold on, I'm going to interrupt this real quick. That's a great statement, but where's your action behind it? That's mine. What does that prove? Go ahead.
So the rich don't have a salary. They don't have a salary that you can tax. They have assets, okay, that are worth a certain value.
Oh, yeah.
What they do is they borrow money against those assets, and then the assets pay that money back.
So they don't even have money to
So
give.
What are you going to do? Tax loan money? So I go to get a $150,000 house, I have to pay 30% tax on the $150,000 I borrowed to buy the house? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to work with the tax code so that the capitalists, because you're in a capitalist country, do the things that you want to be done.
So basically, she doesn't have the financial knowledge, or she doesn't really care, or she has it and she just wants to portray her being one-sided.
Like, if you want the poor to be fed, make it in the tax law where restaurants can donate their unused food.
But they don't do that.
But they can't do it. They have to throw it away.
It's a health violation.
It's a health hazard, right?
Right, the laws do.
Why can't they freeze the meals and donate meals? They did it all during the pandemic for school children. Right?
I don't know if they froze the meals.
They sent
they
meals
provided
out
meals,
to all these kids. Like, why can't they do? Why can't restaurants that have to throw away stuff after a certain amount of time freeze it and give it away? There's millions of homeless people in California right now that would love a meal, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like,
what was on her dress again?
Tax the rich.
Interesting.
Right?
Wild.
Like, because that's what the rich people are doing. They're just working with the tax code they're given, right? So you can change the tax code to make them do what you want the government to do, and be more efficient doing it.
Or you could step up your game and utilize the tax codes to benefit you. You know what I mean? Everybody else could do that too.
Right.
Educate
and then
themselves.
everybody else can be educated. Fix the education system where you actually learn the tax code in school. How about that?
They don't want us to know this information though.
You know? Like, that makes more sense to me. Like, it is insane that this woman who is supposed to be educated.
She is educated. She just honestly is trying to portray. She's trying to portray her side.
Right.
And promote that she's doing something, but she's really not. She just is showing what everybody wants to see. Her followers.
Right.
but there's no action behind it. So it's not solving any problem.
It's like she doesn't understand the system that she's in.
No, she does. She is just playing. She is just acting role. She's acting for the people she wants to vote for her.
Right.
I think she's very educated. People think that she's not, but I think she knows exactly what she's doing.
Maybe she does. Maybe she
Being in politics that has no outcome. Like, that's pretty much what all politics are. To promise things and
not
advocate
deliver.
and not deliver. So, I mean, she's just following the trend that's already been a trend. So, it's kind of sickening, but...
I mean, say you want to give Americans money, cancel student loans.
But
file a bill right now to cancel all federal student loans.
I agree with that, but then you got everybody else who didn't get student loans that said, well, how come I can't get my stuff erased, and how come, it's all about appeasing the the people. Just like, well,
at least that would help the people, though. Like,
they don't want to help us, so they want to keep half the population down, half the population sick, half the population feels stuck. They want those things because they don't want us to overturn anything or cause chaos and disruptive behaviors to their system that they've been living in for however many years,
right.
And of no change, basically.
But the rich don't work for money. They have assets that they live off of.
And you have I feel like you have just the same opportunities as they do to do exactly what they're doing. You did. Whatever the situation you're in now,
you have the choice.
You had the choice and you made the choice, and whether or not you can get there is up to you.
You have to overcome your fear to be able to do it.
And the obstacles in your way. Like, you made a choice, and that choice reflects your outcome.
So,
don't get me started. I could have just kept going, but I'm hungry again. But yeah, nice statement. But how about we put some actions underneath? Like, if she had tax the rich, maybe she could have had ways like written all over her dress in different words. Like,
I'm Nate,
and I'm Meredith.
And this is the So What You Want to Talk About podcast.
So, what you want to talk about?
Make sure you like,
comment,
subscribe,
share with a friend.
Thank you for following along.
Check out Ensorsale.com where we sell custom t-shirts. Check out Sin's Crunchy Jerky. Get you some crunchy jerky.
And make sure you pick up a copy of Meredith's book, London in the Googly Goo.
Available on Amazon.
Thank you for making her a best-selling author.
Woo woo. Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you in episode 2.